Ayo, friendos! In today's video, I am so excited because I'm going to be ranking palettes from one of my favorite of all time eyeshadow palette brands, Miss Natasha Denona. So there's a couple things I'd like to tell you guys before we get started. If I look like I am 500 years old in my face, it is because I have tested out a new foundation. And guess what? I hate it. I'm not going to say what it is. I will catch you guys up in another video. But yeah, I have my beauty lights on right now on full blast, trying to just blur everything. I'm going to town on my Pat McGrath powder, just trying to expel some of that light. Oh my gosh, it's just the absolute worst foundation I've ever tried. So no more negative Nancy. I think we should just get into the ranking. I think it's going to be so much fun. I have my notes here, so I'm going to try not to pray, but you know, I get excited and then I just have to just keep explaining and explaining. And then everyone hates me and then they unsubscribe. Girl, it's a vicious cycle. All right, let's get into it. So a couple things worth noting. I do not own every single Natasha Denona palette ever created. Some of the color stories in her larger palettes are just kind of lost on me. They just don't grab my attention the way some of her smaller palettes do. So as we go through this, you'll see I have a lot of 5-pan palettes that I truly enjoy. And so those are the ones that I've picked up over the years. Of course, I have a couple of her larger size palettes. Not a couple. I have plenty, but not every single one of them, especially not the huge palettes that she has. Like, those just do not appeal to me one bit. If these really expensive palettes just don't appeal to me color story wise, I don't pick them up. So what we have before us are the Sunrise Palette, the Zendo Palette, the Glam Palette, the Sunset Palette, the Mini Gold, the number 1 out of the 5-pan, number 13, number 11, the Love Palette, the Cranberry Palette, number 3, number 12. So 13 palettes to pick from. Let's get ranking. All right, one more thing, and then we'll get started, I promise. It's also something that I just wanted to disclose to you all. Not all of the palettes that I'm going to talk about today are my sole property. I've mentioned before that my sister lives right down the hallway from me and we share a lot of makeup. Some of the palettes that you see here are technically hers, but I've used them several times. I have a very good opinion on them. She and I swap makeup all the time. We take baths together. It's fine. I'm kidding about the second part, but the first part I'm serious about. It's going to be fine, guys. Please don't unsubscribe. At number 13, we have our latest purchase from Natasha Denona, which is the Zendo Palette. Now, we've had this for a couple of weeks now. I believe we bought this on sale. When I say we, I mean she. I believe she bought this on sale. We are not feeling this palette. At the time that this palette launched, there was quite a few mixed reviews on it, so we decided to sleep on it and wait for it to go on sale. We tried it, and I think, guys, we're gonna return this one. It's the only one that I can ever say truly disappointed me. Some of these shades are starting to hard pan. Like, you see that? Hope you can. This is honestly unacceptable for a luxury palette. I would expect this from Morphe, not from Miss Natasha. Also, the shimmer shades. I was really excited for this one. If you guys know my style, you know that I love crystal blues and minty greens and sparkly formulas. These are so hard to build up. I couldn't believe that this was Natasha Denona. So yeah, I think we're going to return this one. So goodbye! Now from this point on, all the palettes that I'm going to show you, I actually recommend. If you see a color story that you like, or if you hear me talk about it and it sounds like something that would appeal to you, I would say don't hesitate. I think that you'll enjoy everything from this point on. At number 12, we actually have the 5-pan palette in number 12. These don't, just so you know, these don't have names. They're numbered. Beautiful formulation here. I do like the colors in these, but there's not much depth offered in this palette. Also, the formulation of each shade is very similar to the next. All 5 of these are shimmers. Even this one right here has a satiny finish. It is not a matte, although it might look that way on camera. But again, beautiful, beautiful formula. So at number 11, it is the Love Palette. And I like this, but I don't love it. Aww. This color story is a cool toned pink and purple mashup. A pink and purple array of shades. A cool toned pink and purple array of shades that came out around Valentine's Day. I think it was last year. The purple shades in here are not the best, especially this matte purple. It's not very good. The rest of them are fine. I really enjoy the shimmers, and I do think that overall this is a pretty color story, but this is more of my sister's vibe more so than my own. So yeah, like it, don't love it. At number 10, we have eyeshadow palette number 3. So these right here are very gray blue beauties. I love that there is a gold reflective silvery shade in here. Like, that's just something that I don't have anywhere else in my collection. Also, I just want to add that this silver right here is the absolute best molten metallic silver I've ever used in my life, and it's pretty one note with the gray color story, but I will say that these colors right here pair well with my blue gray eyes, so I really like it. I'm going to show you that silver too, just so you can see. I've had people tell me here lately that they're looking for a good silver, and this is the one, baby. Just mesmerizing. I love this. So at number 9, we have palette number 13 from the brand. I hope this doesn't get too confusing with the ranking and then this also being a numbered palette and not an actual name of a palette. But oh well, here we are. I'll try to do my best at clarifying. So with this one right here, you get a nice neutral color story. Oops, that shade is starting to crumble. I'm sure it's not my fault. I'm sure it couldn't be my fault. So most of the looks that I've crafted with this palette have been very simplistic, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, that's just why it's number 9 on the list. Also this green shade right here. I think this looks very, very green on camera, but this actually has a pretty black base. Let me swatch over here. So it kind of comes off as more of a gunmetal teal color, more so than green. And I personally would prefer that it just be vibrant green, more so than what we have here. And speaking of vibrant greens, that brings us to number 8, which is the 5-pan eyeshadow number 11. So there are no mattes in this palette. I wish there would have been, otherwise this would probably be higher in my list for sure. Still though, it is gorgeous and I love to pick it up and pair it with other palettes that contain matte shades, of course. Again with the greens at number 7. In the 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, we have number 1. Now this green is the most beautiful seafoam green that I own. And paired with this blue, oh my gosh, I just love the looks that I've done with these two together. There's something about it that really gives me beachy vibes. Also, this purple shade is gorgeous. The gunmetal shade is gorgeous, although I do kind of wish that they would have made this one a matte instead of a shimmer. And then this one right here is more of a champagne than pink, so don't let that color fool you. Again, lovely palette, beautiful formulation, love, love, love. Now, friendos, at number 6, I have the Midi-Retro Palette. This is the latest from Natasha Denona. Check out this gorgeous color story. I do have a review up on my channel right now, so I'm not going to prattle on too much about this. So if you want to know my full thoughts, you can tune into my review after you're done watching this one. So to keep it short, some of these shades were beautiful. Like this shade right here, Andy, was one of the most creamiest blendable eyeshadows I have ever tried in my life. Like, it was just so creamy and beautiful. But then the shade Amara was not the easiest to blend out. The shimmers were gorgeous, and I would say if you enjoy this type of color story, you'll probably enjoy this palette. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Natasha number 5. Boom, 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 boom. can't sing in, I'm sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm so sorry. What can I say? Despite having the worst foundation I've ever tried on my face right now, I'm in a pretty good mood. I've been trying to lose weight, guys, and for the first time in a long time, I was able to put my grandma's ring on my finger. So I'm very, very pleased with my progress. Trying not to jinx it here, but very happy today. So at number 5, we have the Cranberry Palette. She's gorgeous. Let me tell you, these shades right here, they can be sheared out to make a beautiful late spring, early summer type look, or you can really pack a punch with these and do something that is autumn vibes all the way. So you can make a gorgeous autumn look with this palette. Now at number 4, we have the Glam Palette. This palette right here screams old Hollywood glamour, to me anyways. The mattes blend themselves, the shimmers are gorgeous. I also really like that they have a silver tone shade and a burnished gold in here, so it's not too cool because of that. And then they also have some neutral shades too to balance out all the cools. So very, very happy with this palette. Number 3, I have the Mini Gold palette. This goes with me on every vacation. It stows away so compactly in any of my makeup cases. Love this gorgeous olive shade right here. Also, the gold is it's an original gold is what I will say. It has a reflex of green and copper in here. It's just very, very visually stunning on the eye. I feel like I can just whip it out and create an effortlessly glamorous, classy look with this palette every time. And it's an original look. It's not a boring look. And in the penultimate spot, we have, ta-da, the Sunrise palette. Check out this gorgeous warm toned palette. So I'm sure you guys can see why I like it. I also really appreciate that Natasha named a shade after me. So there's Laurel, that was named after me. I'm just kidding. Of course it's not. We're not secretly friends. I just keep being dumb. I'm sorry guys, but yes. One of the best Natasha Denona formulations of all time. I love all the mattes. I love all the shimmers. On top of that, it pairs nicely with my favorite Natasha Denona palette, which brings us to the number 1 place. That is reserved for the Sunset palette. You can tell she is well loved. She's so dirty. Not only are these shades so blendable, so creamy, and so pigmented, you can also tell that there was a lot of thought put into the color story, the curation of the color stories, and also the placement of each shade. So what do I mean by that? If you go down each row, you can see a look waiting to happen. So these 3 shades together, these 3 shades together, or go across and then you have another look and another look. So if for some reason you're not feeling so inspired, you can rely on Natasha Denona's own guidance to create a look. So yeah, best of all time, my absolute favorite. Friendos, I absolutely hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, or if you just pity me, I would also still appreciate that thumbs up. It always helps. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time here with me today, chatting all about these gorgeous Natasha Denona palettes. I hope that you learned some valuable information, or if not, you just thought it was entertaining. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope that you will. I talk about Natasha Denona a lot on my channel, so if that's why you clicked on the video, you're in a good place, if you don't mind a little weirdness here and there. I still pack in a lot of info into all of my reviews. I also like experimenting with palettes. I will do everything from classy demure looks with my palettes to avant-garde editorial looks as well. I just really like having fun and experimenting with my makeup. I'm someone who really enjoys the makeup I collect. I don't just collect it for the sake of hoarding. I also put it to good use. So yeah, please subscribe. And should you choose not to, we shall forever go through life in the shadow of never knowing what could have been. All right, guys, bye.